कामितार्थप्रदायिने श्रीमद्वेंकटनाथाय श्रीनिवासाय ते नमः। हयग्रीव हयग्रीव हयग्रीवेति यो वदेत् तस्य निस्सरते वाणी जन्नुकन्या प्रवाहवत् नरसिंहोऽखिलाज्ञानमतध्वान्त दिवाकरः जयत्यमृतज्ञानसौशक्तिप्रियो निधि। The of the subject Jiva Kartrittvada in Sanskrit, or action or agency of the soul in English, is most important. Unless we understand this properly, my humble opinion, devotion to Almighty may not be proper. Therefore, I have written a book in the year 1994, Jiva Kartrittvada, both in Sanskrit as well as in English. At the request of many from Tamil Nadu, I have written the book in Tamil also, Jivan Sayalpadum Theorem, like that. The book consists of 3 parts. Part A, Jiva has absolutely no capacity to do work at all. That is kartritvam nasti. He cannot act at all. For which many pramanas, pramana means authorities, are given. Then number 2, part B says, Jiva has got the capacity to work. Therefore, that is number of slokas from Gita, number of slokas from Pramanas, Upanishads have been given. Then part C, the reconciliation between part A and B. Under Brahma Sutras, there is one Kartritva-adhikarana. What I want to say, consisting of 10 sutras, starting from 2nd Adhyaya, 3rd Pada, 33 to 42. These 10 sutras and Bhashya commentary thereon should be understood. The same point has been dealt with in Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya, 22nd Adhyaya, from slokas, that is poems, 68 to 88, about 21 slokas. That is a discussion between Draupadi and Dharmaraja, and also enlightenment by Bhima. Having all these things in background, this book has been written. I am happy to inform you, in the year 1995 or so, I don't remember, because 30 years have gone, University of Santiago from America has taken the book and they appreciate it. In Western philosophy, to my humble knowledge, there is no solution for this action or agency of the soul. In Eastern philosophy also, only in Dvaita Vedanta, we get the complete answer for this. I will be now first dealing few instances to say that for Jiva has no capacity at all to do any work. Starting from Rigveda, Rupam Rupam Pratirupo Babuva. That means Bimba Rupi is Paramatma and the reflection is Jiva is understood here as it is. But the meaning of it is very large. The idea is, unless you stand before the mirror, your Pratibimba reflection is seen in the mirror. Unless you raise the hands, the reflection is not going to raise its hand. Therefore, Bimba Paramatma should act. Therefore, only when he acts, the Jiva will act. Therefore, Jiva has no capacity to act. They are based on this Rigveda mantra. Then I will give you one more example from Bhagavad Gita. You all know, in the 11th chapter, Krishna Paramatma says, Tasmat tvamishtasya yashodabasva mayaivaite nihitaha purumeva nimitra matram bhavasave shachit. Arjuna, when you asked me to halt this chariot between the two armies, I saw on both sides, and out of my eyes, I took all the life of the people on both sides. You are only a nimitta, you are only a proxy, you are only a dummy, you are only an actionless man. Therefore, the act of the work has been completed by me. If you go to Brahma Sutras, Sarvatra Prasiddho Padeshat, you can note 211. There, Tatra Tatra Sthito Vishnu तच्चक्ति प्रभोगः एकेव महाशक्ति पुरुषे सर्वमंजसा. Therefore, Paramatma standing at every place does all the act. Jiva has nothing to do. In English, they say even a blade of grass cannot oscillate without his will. Tena vinana trinamapi charati. Therefore, the Jiva has no capacity to do any work. Therefore, no karma can be done by him. Then the classical sutra on this is 2.1.24. Asmadivati chata anupatti om. Asma means stone. There the Jiva is compared to a stone. Stone is not doing any work, Therefore, we are just like a stone, a chetana, insentient object. In Mahabharata, there is a classical example for this. Yata darumayim yosham naraha stira samayitaha inge tyangamangani tato rajanimaha prajaha. Just like you would have seen the dance by the doll, a man will operate, he will be invisible. But he will ask the doll to prostrate, it will prostrate. He will ask the doll to clap hands, it will clap hands. Like that, the Jiva is there. Therefore, Jiva has no capacity to do any work unless it is done by somebody else. And there are many, many examples I have given in the book, which you can kindly read because it will take a lot of time. At least a week is required to explain about all these points. Therefore, ultimately it boils down to the place that there are pramanas, there are authorities to show that Jiva has no capacity to do any work. That is part A. Then coming to part B, Jiva has got capacity to do work, activities he can do. Because the 18th Adhyaya Bhagavad Gita, 11th sloka, kindly note, Nahi deha vrita shakyam tyaktum karmanyaseshaha yastu karma paratyagi satyagi vidyache. A man having a body definitely will be doing some work or other. Sir, I don't do any work. I am keeping quiet. Keeping quiet itself is a work. You are keeping quiet. Therefore, keeping quiet is not very easy. Therefore, that itself is a work. Therefore, a man having a work, Deha will be doing some work. Therefore, Jiva has got the capacity to work. Kartirtum chasya bhoktirtum. I am giving a small inference. That is Anumana. Example, Jivaha karta bhoktritvat vetirekena gatavat. Because, you see, when we are hungry, we take some food. When we say our stomach is full, I am satisfied. Therefore, unless I take the food, the kartritva, my hunger is not subsided. Therefore, it is very clear that Jiva has got the capacity to do karta and he is doing the work like that. Therefore, there are in Samepada, there are many other examples are there. And the Bhagavad Gita, the central doctrine is, you kindly see 2.14. What is the difference between God and man? Paramatma, the Almighty is the giver of the fruit and the work has to be done by us. Therefore, karmanyeva adhikaraste mahapaleshu kadachana. Therefore, the jurisdiction is of two types, territorial jurisdiction and another personal jurisdiction. Here Lord Krishna gives the personal jurisdiction. Karmanyeva adhikaraste. Arjuna, you are a Jiva. You have got to do all karmas. That is all activities. Don't aspire for the fruits. Don't do any result-oriented action. That is the central doctrine of Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga. Therefore, don't have result-oriented action. Do your duty. Karmanyeva adhikaraste. Therefore, Jiva has got to do the karma has been told. And here also you see 245 Yogastha Kuru Karmani Sangam Tektva Padichayaha. Nahi Deha Chanamepi Jatu Tistasya Karma Krite. A person having a body cannot keep quiet even for a second without doing some work or other. Like that, there are many instances to show that Jiva has got the capacity to work. Therefore, and finally, Krishna advises Arjuna, you are setting an example for others. Therefore, do your duty. Yadyada acharati shreshtaha. Tadadeve itaro janaha. Suppose in the house you can see a small example. The mother says to the boy, you read, your father read well and became a graduate. Like that you also read. Therefore he says, Yadi Acharati Sreshtaha Tadadeve Yadaro Janaha Sayat Pramanam Kurute Lokastad Anvarjate. Therefore, all the elders have done lot of work and they have come up very well in life. Therefore, you also follow that. Yadi Sreshtaha. Therefore, they are the people who are setting example. They have done the work. They have come up. Therefore, you have to do the work. Like that, there are part B. There are many examples from Bhagavad Gita, from Brahma Sutras, and practical examples to say that Jiva has got the capacity to work, and Jiva is not like a stone. Now, suppose Jiva, if you say that Jiva has no capacity to do work, I will be equivalent to a Jada, that is insentient object. Therefore, they argue that Jiva has got the capacity to work. Then the question is how to reconcile them both. That is part C. Part C, if you see, Jiva Kartutvada, that is most important. Therefore, in that, as I told you, that Adhikarana consists of 10 sutras, Jiva Kartutva Vada. There he says, the Ishvara Seva Kartutva Muktam, Yakkarma Gurute, etc. So many things have been told. Karta Shastrartatva. Sir, I request the devoted audience to kindly understand that in Vedas, which are most authentic, it can be divided into three parts. That is Karma Yoga, and then Devata Yoga, and Upanishad. Upanishad speaks about the Almighty, and Devatas deal about the other demigods, and Karma Yoga, one third of Bhagavad Gita, tells about the injunctions and prohibitions, what we have to do and what we have not to do. Therefore, suppose if Jiva has no capacity to do work at all, this one third of Bhagavad Gita of Veda will become useless. Therefore, it is not told to whom to told. It is not told to God. It is not told to Jada. It is told only to Jiva. Therefore, Karta Shastra Artattvas Om. That is, if you want to give the correct meaning for Vedas, you have to admit that Jiva has got the capacity to do work. There, great Madhvacharya has used one word that is in Sanskrit most important. Tasmat Jivopi Karta. Jiva also, api means also. Also means Jiva is a dependent Karta. Jiva is not an independent Karta. Jiva is not a Karta is not correct. Jiva is an independent Karta is not correct, but Jiva is a dependent Karta. Therefore, we have got dependent Kartatva is there. Therefore, we are not independent Karta. There I will, there are, there is one Vedic Adhikarana, Hita Prakarana, Adhikarana is there. Therefore, Jiva is dependent Karta because I am not able to do what I wish, but I am able to do things which I don't wish. Therefore, it is not in my capacity. Therefore, Kartatva is there, but independence is not there. Therefore, Jiva is only a dependent Karta. On this point, dependent Karta means on this point only Jiva Kartatva, the action or agency of the soul, starts. If you understand this, for which before that, before starting that, I will take you to Mahabharata Tatparanya, the gist of the conversation between Draupadi and Dharmaraja took place. Ajnatavasa, that is life incognito, was over for 1 year. Then Dharmaraja is taking meals from Akshay Patra and keeping quiet. Then Arjuna asked, Raja, our period of exile is over, our period of incognito is over. There, the atrocities are being done. Therefore, we must go and take our own part of the property. We don't want others' property. Then Dharmaraja told, Draupadi, don't you know, without God, we cannot do any action. God should come and do all the work. Then only we can go. Then Draupadi asked one question. When you are hungry, you are eating. This God has come and helped you to eat. You are eating. That when you want to go for work, you stand up and go for work. Therefore, you take permission from God. Don't tell like that. Then Arjuna, Dharmaraja was unable to answer. He told, it is a big thing. It is running for about 10 slokas. Then Dharmaraja out of anger says that you are a woman, don't talk too much. Then at that time, Bhimasena comes and says, I am really thrilled. He never calls his brother, elder brother. He never calls in any other way. He says, Rajan, Vishnu Sarvakarta, Nacha Anyata, Tatantraha, Eva Anyadavsau Swatantraha, Tatapi. He calls his elder brother Rajan, I am asking you as the king. I am a praja. I am a citizen. Therefore, I have got a right to ask you. Therefore, Tatapi Pumsaha Pihita Karmam Karyam. Therefore, what are all the stipulated in the Vedas? Injunctions and prohibitions. What are the prohibitions we have not to do? What are the injunctions we have to do? Therefore, your answer is not correct. Therefore, you have to do your duty. You are a Kshatriya. Therefore, we have to go and have a dharmic work. There it comes. Kindly read Mahabharata Tatparanya, that is 68 to 88. The crypts of that you can find in the 10 sutras here. Therefore, now Jiva has got the dependent karta is proved. If it is dependent karta, kindly understand. Suppose if I commit a mistake, I am not doing it independently means why should God be punished? Why should God punish me? If I am not a dependent karta, suppose if I do a good act, why should I be rewarded? God alone should be rewarded. At this juncture, I request you to kindly see how in the Western philosophy, in Bible, there is one chapter called Confessions. There, Saint Augustine says, "Oh God, you created me, I understand. You are a just God because you are punishing me for my evil deeds and you are rewarding me for my good deeds. That also I understand. But alas, I don't understand what is that propels me, that pushes me to do a good act or bad act. Alas, I have no answer. That is exactly the Jiva Kartatvada. That is exactly Swabhava kya hata kya yatu pratamam karanam. I am coming to that. Dependent action means the man does independent process. Therefore, if I do a wrong thing, I am not doing dependent. God only does means he should be punished. If I read Shastras and good charities, etc., the reward should be given only to God. It is not like that. Therefore, I am dealing with the last sutra alone. On that, two important points I want you to tell. Because in the 42nd sutra, Srimad Acharya says there are three conditions are there. Anadi karma, prayatnam cha, swabhavakya, hatakya, yatu pratamkaram. For that, the translation is Anadi karma prayatnam cha, samskaram apekshitu, Ishwaraha karyat sarvam. Everything is done by Ishwara is not denied. Then why should one man read and why should one man sleep? Therefore, the man is sleeping is not also independently sleeping. Therefore, don't tell fault on him. The man who is reading and coming up, he is not also doing, he is also dependent. Therefore, don't reward him like that. Don't tell. For which the answer is given in the last sutra. Om Krita Prayatana Pechatu Vita Presheda Beyatyadivyaho. That means Paramatma does everything. God does every action, but he takes equally 3 points into consideration. Therefore, don't attribute Vaishamya or Nairganya, that is impartiality or biased nature or cruel nature to God. Because for me to give the lecture, he takes 3 points into consideration. For you to hear this lecture, he takes 3 points into consideration uniformly. It is not, he is not taking 2 points for one man or 1 point for another man and 3 points to another man. If it is there, then you can say it is partial. What are the 3 points? Most important. One, anadi karma. That is anadi karma. The karma is anadi. It has no beginning at all. If you want me to hear on this anadi karma, you must give me at least 1 hour because every point has got lot of background in it. Anadi karma. Then prayatna, that is effort of the man. effort of the person, then samskara means swabhava. That is the nature of the soul. Swabhava, inherent and intrinsic nature of the soul. These 3 points to take into consideration. I was giving a lecture on this Jiva Kartatvada about 30 years back in Bangalore in the presence of great Swamiji, Vidyamanya Tirtha Swamiji. At that time, I saw some people dancing out of joy. I couldn't understand why they do. Next day I got a letter because here you see anadi karma prayatnam cha samskaram apekshitu. Therefore, a man who is lazy can take shelter. God has asked you to do prayatna, that is effort. God has asked me not to do prayatna, therefore I am sleeping. Therefore don't call me at fault. Then the answer for that is, because I am giving you the final answer, the answer giving for that is this prayatna depends upon the anadi karma. If my past karmas are good, I will do this prayatna. Therefore, God says, I am not responsible for that, my dear gentleman. Therefore, he is doing prayatna because his anadi karma is good. You are not doing prayatna because your anadi karma is not good. Therefore, when there is an answer to that, I don't interfere. The next point on this will be this anadi karma. This anadi karma is whether he is dependent on you or not. If you ask a question in Vedantic philosophy, whether God can do anything, but you have to understand why he is not doing. Therefore, this anadi karma, it means dravyam karma cha kalascha, swabhavo jiva evacha, yad anugrahata santi, na santi ed parikshaya. Therefore, if you ask God, if you make anadi karma for all of the people, same, that won't be fight at all. If everybody is Arjuna, there won't be a war. If everybody is Duryodhana, there won't be a war at all. Therefore, the anadi karma, the prayatna depends upon anadi karma, you told, very good. That the anadi karma is under your clutches. You can see that anadi karma is made equally uniform to all. Then there won't be any disparity at all. For which the Lord says, this anadi karma depends upon swabhava. Hata means in Sanskrit, swabhava kya hata kya yatu pratamam karanam. The nature of the soul. Because I want you to understand, because in Eastern philosophy, in the nature of the soul, there are three classification is only told by Dvaita Vedanta philosophy, which you cannot find in Eastern philosophy, in any other philosophy. With regard to Western philosophy, because God created soul for them, they never also go into the but God or devils are not created. You are seeing in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter up to sixth chapter, the same point has been dinned by Lord Krishna. Therefore, I am not going to all those points. Therefore, the Paramatma replies, Anadi Karma definitely he can make uniform, but it depends upon the Swabhava, nature of the soul. If you understand this last point, you have understood Jiva Kartatvada. Then next question you may ask, that swabhava also depends upon you. Dravyam karmacha kalashcha swabhavo jivevicha. Therefore, this swabhava also depends upon you. Therefore, suppose if you make everybody like Arjuna, where is the question of war? Definitely, at that time, you have to understand what is meant by yavadravya bhavi and ayavadravya bhavi. You see, the swabhava is also a part and parcel of the soul. It is indivisible. You can find a man without arm. If you ask me, I can tell you from Garuda Purana why he has lost the arm. Because he has done so many sins in the past, he has lost the arm, I can say. You can see a blind man. I can give you the explanation why he is blind. Because in the Purva Janma he has committed so many sins like this. Because of that, he is not having eye. But I am talking of the soul. For the soul, there won't be any soul without hand. There won't be any soul without anything. You can see in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, on this very well from Sloka 12 onwards. Therefore, so it is indivisible. Like that, you cannot take a hand out of the soul's body. You can take the hand out of this material prakrita deha consisting of blood and bone, but not in the soul's body. And like that, indivisible is That is called Yavadri Vibhavi, the Swabhava. Swabhava is Yavadri Vibhavi. I am giving you a small example for that. The whiteness in cotton. Suppose if you are able to take the whiteness in cotton and put it in ink, and it is ceases to be a cotton. Ayavadri Vibhavi Dharma means that is when you take the quality in the object, the quality itself will be destroyed. That is called Yavadri Vibhavi Dharma. Ayavadri Vibhava means you can take the quality, but the padartha, but the entity will remain. I will give you an example. The green hood in mango will be there. After 10 days, it becomes yellow. But the mango is very much there. The fruit is very much there. But the color of yellow gone. It is called Ayavadri Vibhavi. The swabhava of the Jiva, please kindly understand, the swabhava of the Jiva is Yavadri Vibhavi. Therefore, God has got the capacity to change it. If you understand this one point, you have understood the entire Vedantic philosophy, is my most humble opinion. Because if the swabhava is altered, it amounts to tantamount to destruction of the soul. Destruction of the soul. Therefore, can Duryodhana be converted into Arjuna? If you ask me, definitely he can do. Can Arjuna be converted into Duryodhana? If you ask God, definitely he can do. But why he is not doing? Because that Swabhava, if he changes, that will be a destruction of the soul. Then you may ask me, let the soul be destroyed. What is the last? But Vedas say that the soul, Natvevaham, Jadunasam, Nattam Nena Janadipaha. If you kindly say see Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, 12 to 30, the same point, that is Nityatva for the soul is there. Therefore, there are like that many Vedas tell. Therefore, when the soul is destroyed, these Vedas will become unauthoritative. If the Vedas, Apaurushaya Granthas, become unauthoritative, then dharma and adharma will not be there. Dharma and adharma, there won't be any society at all. Might is right, landless polity. There will be a chaotic condition unless the dharma is there. Everybody says dharma. Every philosophy will karma. But the Vedas say these are the dharmas not made by anybody else. That is called apaurushaya. Therefore, that apaurushaya Vedas says that the souls are not created. Therefore, if the swabhava is altered, is erased, then that is a destruction of the soul. Then Vedas will become apramana. Then there will be no society. There will be no dharma and adharma also. Therefore, whatever comes to our thing, to mind, we can do. Might is right. That will be the policy. Therefore, Jiva Kartutvada, kindly understand. I have only briefly given you the jot down the points. If you can kindly interested, you can take that book. Madhu will be having that book. But book number 3, written in 1994. See, there I have dealt with each and every point with regard to the fourth, with regard to section C, that is reconciliation of Diva is a dependent karta, on which 10 points are there. Therefore, one point is, I'm telling you, Paramatma follows the 3 points, and therefore he is acting accordingly. Therefore, his independent is lost. Independent is not lost, because all the 3 points which you told are obedient to us. Therefore, like that, step by step, the argument goes. And if you really want to understand this Jiva Kartutvada, kindly read that book. And on the Jiva Kartutvada, at least in the krama of lecture, 1 week if the class is taken, some we will be able to understand. Unless we understand Jiva Kartutvada and say, because always the human psychology is to see that fault is put on others. Even my mother used to tell, we are doing so many good things, still God is punishing me. No, not at all. I used to tell my mother, but don't tell like that. God is punishing me. So you are doing good deeds in this karma. We don't know what is your anadi karma. Then you may ask me one more question. Anadi karma. Anadi means no beginning. Karma can anadi karma will be there. Because any karma done below 14 years is not taken either for punya or papa. Suppose a child, 6 years child, tells a lie, it is not a papa. It is not a sin. If I tell a lie, if it is a sin, therefore, how can it be anadi? And another thing is, we get this human janma after so many births, like the tiger, etc., animals, etc. Then how can anadi will be there? Then kindly understand, karma is of two types. One is manasika karma, and another is bhakya karma. That manasika karma means tiger has also got a mind, you know. When you take a gun and go before it, it runs away. Therefore, it thinks in the mind that he is going to commit harm for me. Therefore, the mind is very constant. Jiva has got the mind. Therefore, manasika karma, these are all the subtle topics involved in that. Therefore, anadi karma is there. Anadi karma depends, the prayatna depends upon anadi karma. Anadi karma depends upon swabhava. Therefore, that swabhava is the final word. That is why that when I sent that book to the university, they wrote a letter that we are not able to fully follow, but we understand that some answer you have given. This is, yeah, I have kind a bird's eye view of Jiva Tattvatvada. Kindly understand. Therefore, we have got a man is doing bad deeds, you are able to see, but he is flourishing. A man is doing good deeds, you see he is suffering. Because it is not due to the, if you say he is doing good deed, therefore reward will come to him in this karma, in this birth itself, then you are ignoring anadi karma. We don't know what we have done in our previous birth. We don't know. Suppose even if we commit sins too and enjoy in this life, it is not because we are committing sins and enjoying. It is because in the past we would have done some good karma. Because of that we are enjoying. These are the philosophical Vedantic ground. What all I have told you in this half an hour is based, you can take it from me, is based entirely on Vedas, is based entirely on Bhagavad Gita, is based entirely on Brahma Sutras and Bhashyas and commentaries thereon. Therefore, if you have got any doubts, you can raise those doubts. I can also answer that. With this, I am closing the topic. God does everything, takes the 3 points into consideration, no discrimination at all. Therefore, when we see a person reading, when we see a person flourishing, when we see a person lazy, you have all read Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, you would have read, Nayam Hanti Nahanyate. That is, a man, a killer is not an independent killer. A person who is become a victim for the death is not also independent. Therefore, everything is done by God. But God does taking these 3 points into consideration. Therefore, we are dependent doers. We're not independent doer. Definitely not. Swatantratva is not with the Jiva at all. Swatantratva is not with Mahalakshmi also. God is only one person. Independent. Pratantro Bhagavan Vishnu Eka Eva. There can be only one independent entity. If there are two independent entities, the concept of independence itself will be defeated. These are all the fundamental things which great Sri Madhvacharya has written. I am telling this Jiva Kartatva not because Madhvacharya has told, because I have understood to a limited extent, which I have put it in writing also. And this topic which I am telling you, I don't know whether it is the 30th lecture or 40th lecture. Still, when my elder brother was alive, he used to tell me that every month you give me a talk on this, then only my doubts will be cleared. Such a subtle topic I have been ably handled and critically analyzed and answered in the Dvaita Vedanta philosophy. Anaya Sevaya Asalisha Venkatesho Marutpriya Pulala Pushpavatu Pritaha Dadyan Me Jnana Sampadaha Sri Krishna Arpanastu Hare Srinivasa.